Okay, well, good morning, everybody. It's wonderful to gather together for the July You Made a Difference award. The recording is August. You better just explain why we record, just in case people have worried why that is. Yeah.
So we record these for people who aren't able to make it, and also so that you can watch it back if you'd like to. Yes, or send it on to friends and family and yeah, anyone really.
Thanks, August. So, I mean, as colleagues know, Roland and I, in the old days, used to come around to relevant areas where colleagues worked, and we had a little ceremony where we made the award. For obvious reasons, we've been doing this by Zoom over the last few months, but it doesn't in any way, just because it's Zoom, in any way deteriorate from the significance of the award. The award is what it is. It's one of the most important things that we do, I think, as a hospital, in the context of acknowledging, as a whole hospital, fantastic work done by colleagues. And You Made a Difference has been running now. It's actually about 14 years, I think it's been going. It's a long time. No, sorry, 12 years. I can't count. 12 years. It's a long time, and it's a really important part, because it's not just like I hope very much that colleagues, when they see good work, recognise the contribution that someone makes in a team, etc., that we just go, we say as a matter of course, thank you, and acknowledge that, and do that as part of our day-to-day life. I hope we do that. This is the You Made a Difference award, if you like, is a way in which the whole hospital is able to make that acknowledgement and to say thank you. So it's very much the way in which the whole hospital saying this. And it's been going, as I say, for 12 years. And I think that speaks to just how much it is recognised for what it is. It's also quite competitive, in the sense that there's no shortage of nominations. So it is a fantastic thing to be nominated at all. To win it, just to give Deborah and Jill a kind of sense of how significant it is. So for this month, for July, 31 different individuals were nominated for a prize. So to be nominated in the first instance, fantastic. That is a huge credit. To win it is to win it out of 31 other colleagues. So I hope that goes to show just how significant and how appreciated your contribution is, and why the You Made a Difference award is such an important part of our values, such an important part of the CUH family, really. So I'm going to hand over to Roland, because what we do is Roland will now go into the personally embarrassing bits, so the bits where people describe in detail why it is that you have and some colleagues get very embarrassed about the very nice things that people say about them, but please don't get embarrassed, because it's really meant. So over to you, Roland.
Lovely, Mike. Thank you so much, and thank you everyone for joining today. Deborah, can you just give us a big wave, just so we all know who you are? And is it Debs or Deborah? You don't mind?
Either, I don't mind.
You don't mind? No. Lovely. So Debs, I'm going to talk about you first, if that's okay, and then Jill, I'll come to you. Can you just give us a big wave so we all know who you are? How are you today, Jill?
I'm fine, thank you.
That's good. So I've got this big file of things that were written about both of you here. So this may take a while. I'm joking. I'll keep it reasonably short. But Debs and Jill, what I'll do, Debs, first of all with you, is I'm going to talk about who you are a little, and then I'm going to come on to the actual nomination. And then Debs, if you want to say something, that would be lovely. If you don't, that's also fine. Similarly, Jill. But if any other colleagues want to make any comments as well when I finish, that's also fine. Okay. So Debs, starting with you. So Debs, you first started a placement in OH with our flu campaign, I think. Was it 2 years ago?
Yes.
And you've helped at OH in different bank placements and projects in various bank roles, including multiple flu campaigns, scanning projects, and COVID clinics. Is that right?
Yes, that is, yes.
Good. And what was it like 2 years ago? Was it very different to now?
Very, very different, yes. Yeah, not quite so hectic.
No. Oh, and Debs, what were you doing before 2 years ago?
I worked for an accountant.
Right.
And I took voluntary redundancy as they were taken over by a much bigger company,
Right.
rather than the small family firm that I'd worked for 14 years previously. So,
Well,
yeah.
we love accountants. We love accountancy firms, both small and large. And but I think we're obviously very lucky that we were able to, find our way for you to come together in Cambridge and to be able to have you join the team. And then Deb, you helped us greatly, I think, during the COVID vaccination clinic as a Band 4 team leader. And what you were doing was absolutely central to helping our staff stay safe and well, wasn't it? I mean, you were, I think, at the heart of the programme to vaccinate over 22,000 staff and patients. And you really stepped up to take on the demanding role supporting the admin team. You helped with staff inductions, with hundreds of administrative staff who are helping at the clinics over the 5-month period. So absolutely terrific for the vaccination programme. And you also helped to ensure the well-being of staff while they were working by making sure that everybody had their breaks, especially the senior team members. And you even offered to take over tasks, didn't you, Deb?
Did, yeah.
To allow others a break. So both a big programme to vaccinate people, but also making sure the teams looking after that programme were having their breaks. You helped to run the booking system on Eventbrite that we all grew to love and worked so well for first doses, and you helped to create, print and send the appreciation certificates to over 100 staff who worked at the COVID vaccination clinic. And Deb, we're told that you're excellent at supporting the service and the team members to succeed. You've got a real eye for detail and improvement and really getting the processes working. And that's, I think, from your experience, Debs, working across the hospital before the COVID period. And also, Debs, your team say that you're always striving to improve. You're always suggesting service improvements to help us do things better and improve the services and patient care in OH. So that's, I think, Debs, who you are. And I think this led to the nomination that I'm actually going to read out now about you. So this is what was written, Debs. So Deb embodies every aspect of the trust values. She's compassionate, actively kind to both patients and to colleagues. She's excellent in everything she does. In recent months, Deb has gone above and beyond to support the COVID vaccination clinics, stepping up to fill a team leader role, and then also the role of rostering over 120 administrative staff over 7 days, while ensuring that they've been provided with training and support when on shift. She championed the well-being of all staff, making sure everyone was taking breaks, as well as improving the way our clinics were run by always adapting her own work and suggesting changes to others, thus improving the quality of patient care. Deb also heavily supported the senior project manager to operationally run a 7-day clinic, which resulted in giving 44,000 vaccinations in under 5 months to patients, all with a smile and a positive attitude. Without her, clinics would not have been so smooth running, enjoyable, and such a welcoming place. Thank you, Deb, for being you, so hardworking and excellent in everything that you do. Debs, that's an absolutely terrific nomination. Very well done. Many congratulations and thank you. I'm just going to give a bit of a round of applause for you.
Thank you.
Debs, what would you like? Anything you'd like to say?
No, just thank you. That's all. And I've really enjoyed it, and I'm still enjoying it.
Yeah.
So looking forward to the next one.
Yeah. What, the next You Made a Difference award, or to the next round of clinics?
The next round of clinics.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
that's right. Would any other colleagues like to comment on Debs who are here? I mean, Debs, I'd like to say something. So I think for all of us who were vaccinated, it was a very moving moment, wasn't it?
It was, yes, yeah. And people were very appreciative of actually being able to have the vaccine. And, you know, they all commented on how friendly everybody was and how smoothly it ran. So it was really nice to hear. Yeah.
But it was, I think, if you think the vaccination program, Debs, it started in sort of December, didn't it?
It did, yes.
December, January, February period. And December, we knew we were going into a very difficult and challenging period with the second proper wave of COVID. And I think it was a sort of, you know, a bright light on the hill for us, wasn't it? Going into the Deakin Centre, all of us, you'd see friends and colleagues as you went in. And I think having that smooth running, welcoming place in what was quite a dark time was very, very powerful.
It was.
Did you feel that as well?
Yes, it was. Yeah.
Well, Debs, you know, a huge well done and thank you. And you should receive, I don't know if you've got it already, but there should be a small posterette that says you made a difference. There'll be the You Made a Difference square badge, which you can put on your lanyard. And then also a gift card will be coming to you. You may have it already, and I very much hope you'll spend that on something lovely for yourself this summer. Or maybe save it for the winter when it's darker.
Yeah.
But I do hope you'll be able to enjoy that as well.
Okay, and thank you very much. It's very much appreciated.
Well, very well done. And if we could all just come off mute for a moment and just give a round of applause for Debs. It's absolutely terrific. Right. So Debs, thank you. And if we now, Jill, if we could come to you and welcome Jill. Where are you sitting today?
I'm sitting in my office on level 3 by myself.
Level 3. Well, Jill, lovely to see you. And Jill, you previously won the You Made a Difference award in August 2014, didn't you?
Yeah, I couldn't remember exactly when it was, but yeah, I've won it once before, and I worked in rheumatology. Right, in
rheumatology. Have you still got your badge from 2014?
I've got to admit, I have somewhere at home somewhere, but obviously I haven't got a lanyard on anymore, so I haven't got it on.
Okay. Are we going to have to get special You Made a Difference award stickers for the yellow badges? I think.
Yeah. New one.
So Jill, again, if I could, I'm going to talk a little bit about you, and then I'm going to read out the nomination, which came from some relatives and friends of some patients who you've been looking after. So for all colleagues, Jill, you've worked in the trust in Addenbrooke's for 19 years, and you started in the medical assessment unit in 2002. And you've been a specialist nurse for 11 years now. And for the last 6 years, you've been working with the HPB oncology team, the hepatobiliary cancer team, as a clinical specialist nurse. And you work very closely, don't you, I think, with the multidisciplinary team to look after our cancer patients and their families through what's a really difficult physical and psychological journey. In what's a big regional national centre in terms of the care that we provide. And last year, Jill, you undertook a secondment with the head and neck team to start to develop an oncology CNS clinical nurse specialist role there to broaden your skill set. And you've now returned to your role with the HPB team. And I think you're very much looking forward to developing your role further with the trust over the course of the next year. And you also want to develop your part as a committee member of the Pancreatic Society of Great Britain and Ireland. And Jill, you're a hugely valued member of the oncology CNS team, and you continue to bring a wealth of experience and support, and I think also humour It's a very important part of what you bring to the team as well. And Jill, this has all led to, I think, the nominations that we've received for you, and we've received 2, and I'm going to read them out now, if that's okay. So Jill, my husband has pancreatic cancer stage 4 and is often in a lot of pain. We've been trying for a few months to have the celiac plexus block operation. I spoke to Jill last week about this, and she got onto the situation immediately. She contacted the consultant who she felt could help. Within a couple of days, we had a phone call to book the procedure for the following week. We're so grateful to Jill for arranging this, as we feel it will make a huge difference to his quality of life. Also, Jill's been really supportive and very helpful during his cancer journey. It's good to know that she's at the end of the phone if we need help. And believe me, we have done. Nothing's too much trouble. She even called on her day off to offer to escort my husband to the ATC unit, the Addenbrooke's Treatment Centre unit, I imagine that is, Jill, when the endoscopy is due, as he wasn't absolutely sure where to go. So that's the first nomination, Jill, which is very moving. The second nomination is as follows. While I've been on chemotherapy these last 5 months, Jill has come into the day centre to see how I'm doing every time when she's in the hospital. This makes so much of a difference to see, and to be able to chat to someone who knows what the patients are going through. It may only be 5 minutes, but usually she tries to make it a bit longer if she knows a patient needs that bit of extra support. I've never seen her without a smile, and usually a funny quip to go with it, which makes me laugh. I've tried to match her with a response to make her laugh too. She deserves that. She also smooths my way with other hospital appointments that I found hard on the chemotherapy to follow up myself. She's a complete gem. So Jill, can we all just come off mute and give you a big round of applause? It's really wonderful to hear and to read. Would anybody else like to comment on what we've heard about Jill before we hear from Jill herself? So Tracy, and then Victoria.
So just like to sort of comment that I worked with Jill in the medical assessment unit all those years ago, and I don't know if she followed me or I followed her, but we've sort of gone along the same track at CUH, moving divisions. And I just want to say that, you know, I'm really congratulations, thoroughly deserved award, and it's really great wherever I've been having Jill as part of the nursing team. I think she's a fabulous nurse. Thank you.
Thank you.
Lovely, Tracy. Thank you for that. And Victoria?
Yeah, although I'm a colleague of Jill's, I'm actually wanting to speak from the point of view as a relative of a patient. So I met Jill 3 years ago when my sister was diagnosed with terminal cancer. And Jill was just this person that she held the hand of our whole family and was available all the time. She clearly never has a day off. And she sat with my sister in chemo and made her laugh, and she became a really good friend of our family. My ex-husband then died in February from terminal cancer, and Jill was also his specialist nurse, and she did exactly the same thing for myself and the children again. It's a natural ability that Jill has to be able to sit with people and know exactly what to say and what to do. So we are enormously grateful. Thank you.
Yeah. Well, thank you for speaking up, Victoria. I mean, again, very, very sad to hear about the loss of your sister and your former partner. And it's very moving and grounding, though, to hear what Jill was able to do to support you and your family. It's very, very authentic and very real. So thank you. And Tina, you'd like to come in.
Yeah, so thank you. So first of all, congratulations to Debs as well, having been part of the vaccinating team, albeit very in a small way. I recognise the hard work that it took Yeah, I'm sure that will come in good stead for restarting the programme in September. So a huge congratulations, and some very lovely comments from your colleagues. I think I've known Jill for a number of years now and worked with her when I was in the palliative care team, and we established the enhanced supportive care clinics for patients with malignant uncurable disease. And it was my treat to work with Jill in the HPV clinic. You know, I echo everything that has been said, but I think, you know, as a nurse myself, the fact that this nomination has come from relatives, I think is just extra special. And I think just recognises who Jill is as a person, but also as a professional, and, you know, a great advocate for the hospital and for all that we, you know, that we believe in. So congratulations, Jill. I look forward to continuing in our relationship over years to come, and very, very well deserved.
Lovely. Well, Tina, thank you very much for that. And it's also lovely in these conversations, isn't it, to hear about the very strong relationships and, you know, developments and growth that people have gone through here at CUH, at Addenbrooke's and the Rosie over the years. And that's, I think, a real bedrock of how we're able to do what we do. I mean, Jill, is there anything you'd like to say?
Yeah, I just wanted to say a little bit. Don't worry, not too much, everybody. So firstly, I'm really tickled pink about getting this today, and it really does mean a lot. But I would like to say that it's not a one-man band. I've, you know, done it with the massive support of the oncology department, particularly like to say thanks to the cancer assessment unit and the medical secretaries who put that as my constant can they do, the day units, the oncology ward, the oncology registrars and the palliative care team, and the dietitians that have a really massive input, and anyone I've forgotten. The thing I did want to add is, you know, it's absolutely privileged to work with these patients. They have such a tough time, so physically and mentally, and they let us into their lives at a really hard time, but are so humble and, you know, hardly complain. And I just think it's just been, and it's been a real pleasure to get to know Vic's family, but also for Roger and Karen, the patients that nominated me. Pleasure to get to know them. It's a, you know, it is a two-way street as well. So that's it, really. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you, Jill. And could you just comment maybe a little bit about the journey that you've been on and what you've learned in terms of, I mean, if you were to give any advice to the rest of us, what you've learned has been the important piece that's let you do this. What's just one message?
I think the massive key is communication. I think is keeping the channels of communication open, and so patients and we all know what's going on. I think that makes a massive difference. And I think if people know what's going on, patients know what's going on, there it's so much an easier journey for everybody, and that's including ourselves as, you know, healthcare professionals, I think.
Yeah. And Jill, could you perhaps just comment on how you keep your energy levels and engagement up? Because it's a difficult time for a lot of us. We had a lot from Debs, didn't we, as we were hearing about Debs, as to the work she was bringing it every day. And how are you doing that? I mean,
it has been really tiring time, and I think I'm personally sort of out of work. I sort of walk quite a lot and have good friends, and I will say it before everyone else says, I have a bit of an obsession with stationery. So my lovely voucher will be spent on a lovely pen. But you know, seriously, I think it's just a case of just trying to sort of occasionally sort of step back in the times that you can, and sort of lean on each other a bit as well.
Yeah. Well, Jill, a huge thank you and well done. And you also will be receiving the posterette, the certificate.
I've got them already, actually.
You have? They're not 2014 versions, so there's a...
No, it is. I've got them.
You got them there, lovely. And then the badge.
Yes, I've got them.
And we'll try and find you another badge as well, if that's okay.
Yeah.
So that you've got the two. And then obviously it's lovely to hear that you're going to spend the gift certificate on something stationery related. As a fellow lover of pens, I look forward to seeing what you get. But in the meantime, if we could all just come off mute again and just give Jill a huge round of applause. Good. lovely. So before we draw to a sort of close, I mean, very moving and powerful, I think, hearing from, both Debs, from you and from Jill and from other colleagues about the extraordinary contribution you're making. And this is what makes the difference, isn't it? To the care we provide. It's what makes Addenbrooke's and the Rosie Cambridge University Hospitals, I think, such a terrific place to be. And for Mike and I think whenever we do this, it reminds us, Mike, doesn't it? Our prime job is to get out of the way and enable you, Debs and Jill, and people like you to do your thing. Mike, any final reflections from you before we close?
No, not really. I don't think there's much that we can add to what's already been said today by everybody. Just really, really well deserved. And it's a great privilege to work alongside you, to be associated with people like yourselves. And so that's why it's so important. So just thank you. Thank you.
Great. Thanks, Mike. Well, thank you, everyone. We'll draw to a close now. And again, look forward to seeing you around, either on Zoom calls or around the hospital on the concourse, all socially distanced and wearing our masks for now, to the extent that we have to. And, a huge well done, courage, we keep going. It's a tough time, but we'll keep on going and do what we need to do. So Jill, Debs, thank you, and thanks everyone, and have a great rest of your day and week. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Thanks.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.